Hi, it's Dre Griggs with Obsidian Wisdom. Today we answer the question, Traditional IRA versus Roth IRA, which one wins for your retirement? Choosing between a Traditional IRA and a Roth IRA can feel like choosing between chocolate and vanilla. It really depends on your overall taste and flavor. And in this case, we're talking about it depends on your overall retirement strategy. Like all things, it really does depend on your own unique situation. Ideally, when you're looking at a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA, for the most part, they're going to be something that it's ideally I can use both in many ways. But we recognize because of the limits that we're about to go over, that you can't use a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA as your only retirement vehicle. That the limits of how much you can put in each of these accounts by themselves means that you have to have them as a part of your overall retirement strategy. I'll go over some things to look for when you're making these overall decisions. So first, when you're looking at your traditional IRA, it's important to know that it's first and foremost, this is going to be pre-tax. And when I say pre-tax, what I'm ultimately saying is the money goes in before you pay taxes on it. And that in many ways means that it doesn't count as taxable income today because it went in before it was taxed. So it never went into your checkings account. That money has already been taxed. If the money is pre-tax, that means it's invested literally before you even get to touch it. As a result, Uncle Sam considers this as a tax deduction in your income today, which is going to be the benefit that you receive right now. So it is tax deductible, which means it doesn't count as my overall taxable income. So it could possibly lower the taxes that I would be paying today. So naturally, if I'm lowering my taxes today, what does that ultimately mean? Who would want to lower their taxes today? And if you said someone who thinks that they're going to have higher taxes today than in retirement, you're right. So for many people, this is going to end up being, I think I have higher taxes today. Well, actually, let me remove that back. I think it'd probably be better grammar if I say higher taxes today instead of just high taxes today. So we'll say, I believe I'll have higher taxes today. If you believe you'll have higher taxes today than in the future when you retire, then it makes sense for you to defer your taxes to the future. So your money is not being taxed today, it's being taxed in the future when you take it out as income. And that's not going to be a large lump sum when you retire. It's going to be each year that you take the money out, it will be taxed as ordinary income. So you do have the ability to manage your taxes in some ways, where you take out a certain amount or you don't take it out in certain years. And you just keep an overall idea of what you're doing with your overall tax brackets. And I'll probably be able to at least put a link to another video. If not, I'll go into a couple strategies even today as far as just thinking about it from a tax diversification. So if I believe I'm going to pay higher taxes today, then I believe that I'll be taxed lower amounts in the future. The limits of what you can put in 2025 is the same limits as it was in 2024, which is $7,000. So you're able to put $7,000 in, and then there's a little carve out that if you're 50 plus, you can add an additional $1,000. Which means that if you're 50 plus, you can put in $8,000 into your traditional IRA account. When you're going to look at your Roth IRA is considered your after-tax investment. So that means this money is in my checking account. It is in my savings account. I have paid taxes on this money to receive the net, whatever that net ended up being. Because I pay taxes today, that means that I give myself the chance to not be taxed in the future in retirement. And that is going to be a great option for many people. So I have tax-free income in retirement. So you and I will be like, all right, that's great. So I have tax-free income in retirement. That is the name of the game for a multiple of reasons. One is I don't want to pay Uncle Sam taxes in retirement. I want to keep more of the money for me. The money is for my retirement. I want to spend the money on my trips and my family and all these cool adventures and these hobbies and volunteering and all these amazing things that I want to do. So that is what the plan is. Then putting it inside a Roth is going to be a great opportunity for you. If you think you have lower taxes today, then hey, if I'm gonna have lower taxes today than in retirement, or I'm really excited about tax-free income, then I'm going to go ahead and put the money inside of my Roth IRA. I've already accepted whatever my tax bill is today. I received the money, and now I have tax-free income in retirement. And we'll go ahead and add it to the list on our traditional side. That means it's going to be taxed as ordinary income tax in retirement. So if I were to receive tax-free income now, it's ordinary income tax in retirement. Now, one advantage that both of these accounts have is they allow your money to grow tax deferred. So when I say my money is growing tax deferred, that means that when the money is growing each year, I don't have to take that additional growth and add it to my income and it be taxed as ordinary income. That if I put in $1,000 this year and that grows to $1,500 next year, that $500 of growth is not going to be taxed as ordinary income. It won't be taxed at all. So my growth is tax deferred. I don't pay taxes until the money comes out of the account. And that is going to be from the traditional IRA perspective. You do have tax deferred growth inside of your Roth as well, but when you take the money out, it's not taxed at all. Remember, we said this is tax-free income for this one. And then that's a very good situation to be in. Now, because I do have tax-free income, there are income limits. And all that means is if I make over a certain amount of money, Uncle Sam will not allow me to have a Roth IRA account. If you already have a Roth IRA and at some point you get a promotion or a raise or you go over that limit, all that happens is you're no longer allowed to place any additional contributions inside of your Roth IRA. It's not that you lose your Roth IRA. It's not that it loses its tax-free benefits. You just can't put any more money inside of it. So the money just grows and grows and grows. And then whatever you take out in retirement, that's your tax-free income. The limits in 2025 is $150K for an individual. And I believe it is $236K for a couple. Now, we'll put a link to another video where I go through something called a backdoor Roth. And all a backdoor Roth is a very fancy way of saying, I take my traditional IRA contributions and then I pay the taxes on it in a given year, and I can convert that into a Roth, right? So that's the backdoor Roth. The reason that people like this option is it does not have an income limit. So what you might do, and I've seen people do it, what you'll do is you'll say, all right, I'm going to put 50K. So let's say you're a business owner, so you have the ability to contribute into a solo 401k as a business owner, the employer, and as the employee of your business. So you're able to get up to that, I believe it's $69,000 for you to be able to do that. So you put in $50,000 in 1 year, and that goes into your IRA. And then later on that year, you convert that. So you pay the taxes. So to make life easy for me, we'll just say that you're taxed at a 20% rate. So if you're taxed at a 20% rate, you will pay the 10K in taxes. And then you will have 40K now inside of a Roth account. So that is what a backdoor Roth is. The reason that this normally is a good idea for many people in retirement is there is things in your pre-tax account called, and I'm running out of space, I'll just slide it right here. It's called an RMD, my required minimum distribution. A very fancy way of saying Uncle Sam says you have not been taxed in your traditional IRA. The money has gone in tax deductible. It has been growing tax deferred. It is only taxed as ordinary income when you withdraw the money. As a result, Uncle Sam is getting itchy, waiting for you to take the money out. So what he does is he says, all right, when you are 73 years old, you have to start taking out some of this money. I've been waiting long enough for this tax revenue. And what he does is there's a table. You'll go look at the table. It tells you what your number is based on your age. And then you have to take all of your money and all of your pre-tax accounts, money that you haven't paid taxes on. So that could be your 401k, your 403bs, it could be your IRAs, all of your pre-tax accounts, total that amount up, divided by that number on the chart. That's how much you have to take out in any given year. As a result, if you don't take that money out, that is your required minimum distribution, you will have a 25% tax penalty. And most people are like, But what I'll do is I'll put a link to another video where I go through building a tax-free retirement plan. And I do discuss different options to make sure that you avoid RMDs. This is simply one of them. I don't have RMDs inside of my Roth account because I've already paid taxes on the one. So Uncle Sam isn't biting at the bit to get tax revenue. He's already gotten the tax revenue. As a result, he doesn't care when you touch your Roth. If you don't touch it at all, if it's a generational wealth tool, he just simply wants to give that to the next generation. He's like, I don't care. You've already paid taxes on it. Right? Uncle Sam is much more chill when it comes to your Roth account. So as a result, if you do this Roth conversion, you do a backdoor Roth, You take your $50,000, you pay the taxes on it of 20%, you get the 40,000 in a Roth. Now we have tax-free income and is no longer going to have the required minimum distributions. The reason that's important is because at the end of your retirement, what sometimes happens to people is you end up pushing yourself into a higher tax bracket and you don't even need the extra money. So for example, if you had Social Security, right, that's basically a pension. Once it's turned on, you can't turn it off. You're going to receive that money every single year, no matter what. And then you have the RMDs. And then if you have a pension from your normal employer, or you have an annuity of some kind, all of these are accounts that when the money is turned on, it just keeps going. You don't have the ability to turn them off. So when you add your RMD, that could push someone into a higher tax bracket because you're stacking all of these income streams. Obviously, a very nice problem to have. That's the number one fear most people have in retirement is running out of money, but it's still a problem that we could account for. So what we would do is we would try to eliminate the RMDs before they're required to be taken out, or at least we minimize them as much as possible by doing Roth conversions. Maybe we do it over 10 years, over 15 years, where if you have $1 million inside of your 401k, to keep the math easy for me, maybe we just take out $100,000 every single year as you're leading up to retirement. That way, when you do retire, you've taken your tax bill and you divided it out over a span of a decade, which should limit how much your taxable income would be, versus if I wait all the way to the end and then have to start taking out larger amounts of money to account for this. And the last thing I want to mention that both of these accounts have is a penalty if you withdraw the money before 59 and a half. Now, there are some exclusions, and we won't really go into a lot of them today, where some would be like, hey, $10,000 if you want to have the house. You could also look at things like if I have a disability or death, or there's lots of small carve-outs, and there's a mini list of them. But basically what we're saying is if you were just taking the money out before 59 and a half, because Uncle Sam is giving you these tax benefits, in his mind, he's incentivizing you to save for your retirement. And when Uncle Sam incentivizes you, because in the United States, we do have an incentive-based tax system, he penalizes you if you use it in a way that isn't the way he was trying to incentivize you. So in this simple case, he's saying, look, Social Security, I only want it to be about a third of your overall retirement income. I'm going to give you tax breaks to fund the rest of your retirement. We don't want everyone when they retire to be living off of Social Security for the majority of their income. So Uncle Sam said, how about I give you these tax breaks? And you'll say, oh, great. I appreciate that, Uncle Sam. Well, if you then say, well, I desire to take the money out because I want to take a trip to Barbados, he's like, that's not what we were doing. Even if you were saying I want to take the money out to buy a business to then fund more of my retirement income, again, Uncle Sam says that sounds like it may be a good idea, but no, you can't do that. I'm not interested in you taking the money out before 59 and a half. And also, if you really think about it, it lets you know how long Uncle Sam really wants you to be working. Uncle Sam said, I would like everyone to be working into their 60s. I give you Social Security at 62. I give you Medicare at 65. I give you access to your traditional IRA and your Roth after 59 and a half without penalty. So Uncle Sam has made it very clear. I don't like the idea of people retiring early. I would like everyone to be working. The system works better when I have a whole bunch of employees paying taxes. I don't want everyone financially free, retiring in their 30s and 40s and kind of doing whatever they want. So you can see that Uncle Sam was pushing everyone to be working into their 60s and beyond. When you're ultimately making that final decision, well, which one does make the most sense for me, Dre? Which one would be my winning strategy? If there's so many things that you're going to be taxed more now, then you want to defer the taxes now. That would be your traditional IRA. If there's so many things you'll be taxed more later, then that means that you most likely would benefit from paying taxes today. So that means I should not put as much in my pre-tax account because I'm deferring taxes to a higher tax bracket later. For most people, high level, obviously it's a very unique situation. So I can't really say for you as an individual without knowing you and your particular situation. But what I can say is for most of the time, if you're someone in the higher income bracket, you're probably going to be taxed at the higher brackets either way. And the limits are going to restrict your ability to put money into any of these accounts. So you can put the money inside of the pre-tax, that's $23,500, I believe, in 2025. You're probably still going to have more money that you would need to invest for your retirement to maintain your same lifestyle. So for you, you'll put the money inside your pre-tax, then you'll have a lot of after-tax investments. That's just how it's going to probably work out. If you have the ability, we would do Roth conversions periodically to be able to give you that Roth income because you cannot contribute based on the income limits to a traditional Roth IRA. If you're someone that's kind of in the middle, for the most part, we normally keep it tax diversified 50% in our pre-tax, 50% in our after-tax. That gives us the flexibility to ebb and flow depending on what the overall economic climate is. That if the government just wakes up today and they're like, you know what, we're going to double the tax system. And you'll say, okay, if we're going to double the tax rates, that means I need to take a lot of my pre-tax investments that I was planning on paying taxes later in retirement, and I need to shift them into my after tax. So I need to take as much taxable income as I can now because they're going to increase the taxes later. I don't want to have the ability to pay 20% of taxes today and then there'll be 40% tomorrow. So if you're in that middle class, it could go either way. It really does depend on how we define middle class. As a result, we normally want to stay 50-50, be diversified and flexible so that you can adjust with the economic climates in general. And then if you're in the lowest income tax bracket, for the most part, no one ever discusses raising taxes on the bottom and middle class. So as a result for you, it normally makes sense to just go ahead and take the tax-free income as much as you can. But if you want to free up your income today and you don't want to pay taxes today, then put the money inside of your traditional IRA. For the most part, you can do either or. It really doesn't change your overall situation because most likely you'll pay little to no taxes today and you'll pay little to no taxes in the future. So for you, it's just making a decision on what the cash flow needs are. Do I want my cash flow today? Like I want the money in my account today, or do I want the cash flow in retirement and I don't want to pay taxes in retirement? Both are going to be great decisions and great opportunities for you. You'll end up paying roughly the exact same amount in your taxable income. And after all that, you're still on the fence. That's fine. Just go ahead and use both accounts. It is important to know that you cannot contribute $7,000 inside of your Roth and then $7,000 inside of your traditional IRA. Those accounts are linked. You can only contribute $7,000 between the net of those two accounts. So you could put $3,500 into your traditional IRA and you could put $3,500 into your Roth IRA, but you cannot put $7,000 in each of those accounts. The reality is there's not a one-size-fits-all approach to retirement planning, but by you making an informed decision, you can create a more tax-efficient plan and create a more stress-free retirement for yourself. If you found value in this video, I simply ask for you to like and subscribe so you continue receiving valuable insights on how to create your own wealthy retirement system. Until next time, stay safe and enjoy life.